welcome to another episode on Meet Her on Youth Plus Radio. My name is Njeri Kamau and I will be your host for today. So today we have an elegant woman. She is smart, she is funny, and above all, she is beautiful. I mean, she wears her natural skin so well, you'll envy her. So without any further ado, help me welcome the one and only Justine Wanda. Aki mweke nini hapo? Mweke effects. Siwezi kwa nimesherekea yote bure. Hi Justine.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
How's your week going?
My week?
Yes.
My week was, it was a bit baridi, you know, feeling me, but I mean, we're here.
Okay.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
You're alive. You're fighting.
Wow, exactly.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
I'm great, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much for honoring the invite and for being here with us today.
Of course.
And I mean, even coming early. I mean, you're such a good timekeeper.
Yes. I went to boarding school. I was beaten a lot. This wasn't voluntary.
It just happened.
I was trained.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I just want us to start the interview today, and I mean, let's just talk about who you are as Justine. Justine the person, and Justine the comedian, the writer. I mean, this girl has a lot. She's doing a lot of things. So as we tap into that, just tell us, who is Justine? How did Justine grow up? How did she end up becoming who she is right now?
Okay, so it's kind of a very long story.
Make it short.
Yeah, I grew up kind of just like a normal kid.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shorten it. I grew up adopted, which was really awesome, and I had go to school, do the right thing. I did that for a while. I did everything. I went to school. I went to uni. I was gonna become a full-time artist. I was gonna become an interior designer, to be specific, and that dream died very early, a couple of years back, which was very shocking.
Okay.
Where you think you have a handle on this particular thing that you love, and then when you get into the field, it doesn't work out, and it kind of really redirects you as a person. So before I became a comedian, yes, I was an artist. Yes, I had a desk job. I had, I really lived.
Per the book.
Yeah, I was do the right thing kind of child. But that it just didn't work for me the way I thought it would. So I had to redirect my efforts in another way.
So then how then did you come from moving from your 8 to 5 job, like your desk job, to being a full-time comedian and doing all the other things that you're doing? Because this girl as I said, she's doing a lot of things and she's really good at it. How did you transition from 8 to 5 to being now a comedian?
I'll say we'll go back a little bit back to high school. In high school, I was a clown. And not in a good way. It was that person is making so much noise. We need to kind of expel her or something. I always got into trouble in high school because I really loved making a fool of myself at the expense of other people laughing. I didn't know what I was doing then, but I just thought this is a really good way to redirect my energy. And a lot of teachers didn't like that because, they like proper children. They like people who are doing the right thing. And I liked doing the right thing, but I also liked being my own person while doing the right thing. And that didn't always work. So that kind of chaos started a little early, where I studied hard, but also I was a different person in different spaces. And the stuff that I really enjoyed was making people laugh. I didn't know it then. I just thought this is a thing I'm doing so that I get more friends, or I'm in rooms where I'm happy or something, but I was curating a comedian in that time.
You curated the comedian pole pole without you even knowing that this is what you're bringing out of yourself.
And I would write a lot too. I was just I think I was a weird person in my own way.
I feel like you are creative
in your own way. But I was also I'll say this with a lot of confidence, I was very popular in high school, but for the wrong things. I had a teacher tell my brother, I had a teacher tell my brother to, like, I think it was one of those like AGM meetings, you know, like when everyone is coming to school. So my older brother came, and my class teacher, I think at the time, she was like, Justine is a very good leader. She'll just lead everyone in the wrong direction. And I was like,
wow.
I had that, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing an incredible job.
Like, it never made you feel like I am doing the wrong thing, I need to stop, I need to become proper?
No.
Because sasa niko everywhere.
It just meant, to me, it meant I'm different from all the other kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you being different gave you some form of, let's call it, not wellness, like it gave you some form of identity.
Yes.
And
it gave me a really
liked
strong
it.
identity, mostly because I didn't like that I was being othered. I just knew that I wasn't like everyone else.
Yes.
And that made me slightly happy. It's not something you're supposed to take pride in, because now it causes friction with other teachers, but I was like, yeah, at the assembly, I'm not going to be the kid. I'm going to be the kid who's called for punishment.
You never really hated the punishment work?
Oh, I hated the punishment.
But
I skipped punishments.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Ulikuwa wale watoto wa sikukuja shule na ndoo.
Yeah. I was
Nilikuja
like,
shule na vitabu.
I was like, why are you punishing me? I just made 3 other people laugh. You guys should be making money of this. Like, how do we find a way to monetize this?
Yeah. So now this is you in high school. So you finish high school, you come, and now you're doing, like in high school, in campus. Then when did you start the journey now? Like, when did you decide, you know what, 8 to 5, nimechoka, nilienda campo, I've done my 4 years, I've paid my dues, I've tried to do the job, it's not working.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna do my own thing. When did you decide that, and how did that look like for you?
Again, we just have to rewind back to campus, because like in campus I was like, yeah, I'm studying, I'm doing everything that I need to do, but also at the same time I am trying to find a way to like channel my other creative energy, because I was doing fine art where you have to draw. There's like a lot of actual art class, but in those classes I was also not the best student, because there are people who've been drawing for like forever.
For a really long time.
Yeah. But for me, I was good. I was just not the best, and I don't like being.
You don't like mediocrity.
I don't like being number 3. No, I'm.
Excellence. Excellence is the word for you. Excellence is the word.
Exactly. I didn't like being excellent. So I was like, how do I become better in other ways that are just as creative?
Yeah.
So I took some film classes. I took some writing classes. I was doing other things as like minor courses to like really just help elevate. Like, yes, I do have this art thing, but also I have like 2, 3, 4 going for me.
Yes.
So that way I can excel in like multiple ways, instead of feeling like I'm just...
You're doing so much and you're not good at any, like you're a jack of all trades,
Yes.
but a master of none.
Yes. So I was hoping to at least be good at something.
Yeah.
And I really, really loved the idea of just doing, like, I really loved writing, as I said. I didn't know what it was and where it would go.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be doing it because I felt like it will help me channel my creativity in another way.
Oh, yeah?
So when I finished high school, like I really passed those minor classes I did. The other classes I did in film, I did really well. I was like...
So that gave you more motivation
Yes.
to like keep going, because you're like, I'm good at this.
Yeah, I just didn't know a way to like steer it back into the thing that I really wanted to do. I just like felt like it's good that I've done it. So when I finished campus, actually before I finished campus, I was a dancer in New. And I told my brother.
You're a dancer, you draw.
Yeah.
You can make people laugh. Justine, si hata utuachie space sisi wengine wenye. You can only move kidogo tu.
I am sorry. If I could, I would. Like right now, tungeenda hapo, I just like, how much of this do you want?
Tugawane, very fast.
Yeah. I could like split that pie really easily. But I didn't know how to channel this thing. So I would just do everything that I felt like made me feel good. So as a dancer, I started excelling. Like, you get better and you're like, okay, how do I get to the next level? So I told my brother, I want to quit school and become a full-time dancer.
You want to quit school and become a
full-time dancer? Yes, I said it to my brother, and he was like, not to hate on your dreams or become a a person who distresses them, but why don't you just like, you can balance this, like
Wait,
finish
I have
school.
a question. You never felt scared of saying that?
No, my brother is actually very supportive.
Okay,
My
okay.
brother is one of the most supportive people I've ever met.
Kudos, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, mostly because he knew how much we needed it. And he was like, I'm not going to be the one to say no.
Yeah.
I'm just going to find a way to redirect you so that you don't also throw your entire education in the bin. So he was like, do this, balance it out, do your coursework, and also just like balance out with the dancing. I'm sure you can figure a way out.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. I didn't figure a way out. I had to quit dancing.
Yeah.
And that was a very painful moment. I was like, how am I quitting something that I love? But it's like,
yeah, and you're also good at it.
yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's because I also don't want to let my family down in that way.
Yeah.
Especially not finishing school. We don't do that in my family. Everyone finished school.
You start something, you gotta finish it.
Yes, so we were like, this is a race. You have to keep going until the very end. So
Yeah.
I was like, I finished it. Yeah, so I finished school and I got into the job market. I was very lucky to get a job within like such a short time period.
Oh yeah, lucky you.
Yeah, because like most people, hey, people will tell like, yeah, your shoes are even like a whole different. It's you one day you have a full shoe, the next day you have a sandal. It's insane. Like you, I was very lucky. I didn't go through all that, and I don't know. It was just like grace. That is like the biggest kind of grace you can get as a person, especially an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what job did you get? Like the 8
I
to
got
5
an
job
interior
was?
design job.
What?
Yes.
Like you were looking at people's houses and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna make this a masterpiece.
Yeah, and I did that, and
And
I
you
was
really enjoyed
good.
it. I'm sure you did.
I enjoyed it, but it was really, I think it was the place of work that was a little difficult for me to adjust, because the work is not the problem.
Yeah.
It's never the work. It's just
It's
that the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that became very difficult for me. I had a very, I think horrible is a strong word, but she was a very
Tough.
person
just
to
use
work
tough.
for. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was very adamant about how she wanted things to be done. But sometimes all you need is a conversation. Like it doesn't need to be a battlefield every day. And that's what it felt for me. And I take instructions very well. I'm a perfectionist. I don't like to do anything wrong. So I knew I'm doing everything right.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not up for this kind of chaos every day. And it wasn't an 8 to 5, it was more like an 8 to whatever time you leave the office. Yeah. So, and I was very dedicated to, which is a bad thing. This is something that I got to learn a year into my job. Don't be the person who's doing the most. Do the work that you're supposed to do and go home.
Follow your JD and just go home.
Why are you doing everything?
Yeah.
Why do you want to even start sweeping the office? You need to calm down.
There's a cleaning lady for that, just calm down.
Yes. Like everyone has a job description, you're doing way too much.
Yeah.
So my our manager now was the one who told me that. She was like, Justine, you need to go home. You need to have a life outside of this office.
Do you think you are doing the most? Because you felt like you really, maybe like you got the job too fast.
Yes.
So you really kind of had to prove that I belong here and I'm good at this and please keep me. I can do whatever.
I was proving so many things. I was proving that I am good at my job. I am like, you hired the right person. I might not have like, because I had a colleague who went to a school abroad. Like she was like a proper interior designer. I was just an artist who weaseled herself into a job. So I was there. And I was like, I'm just as good as my colleague. And which was weird because like my colleague was one of the most reassuring people. She was like, you're so good. Where you...
But you're not believing what she's telling you. So it's kind of like you had an imposter syndrome face.
A whole year. 1000%.
Oh, Lord.
It was a whole year of like, I'm just as good as everyone here.
Yeah.
Do you believe me? Do you believe me? I believe it.
Oh, like you really even wanted the affirmations to come from people.
Yeah, like if someone is more embracing of my work, I'm like, yeah. If our client says they love my work, I'm like, yeah. Which is ironic because if I had not been doing a proper job,
you will not be in
it would have stalled completely. Like the client would have fell out with me in the beginning. Because interior design is like very upfront. If you do something wrong, it
is very,
shows up.
And it's an expensive mistake.
Yes, very expensive.
Because if you like forget, maybe you need to put a pillar somewhere.
Yes.
Pillar is not a thing you just demolish and just.
Exactly.
Oh,
So,
oh, oh.
which is a very ironic thing, because
Yeah.
being a perfectionist, you're always striving to be the best when sometimes you don't even notice that you're already doing it. Yeah.
So it's kind of like you are the pressure.
Yes.
Within yourself, you are just the one who was giving yourself pressure.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Yeah. But then it didn't help that even with the slightest mistakes, like my boss would really get into it. Like it becomes like a whole circus. And I'm
Well.
like, I don't think I signed up for this as a job. I didn't sign to be yelled at.
So wait, so you felt like, oh Lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We are healing. We are
It's
healing.
okay.
We are
It's
healing.
okay.
So you want to tell me this? You already have this thing of, I don't think I'm good at this.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm good at this because they picked me for the job, but I'm not sure. Then there's someone here who is yelling at you, and it's kind of like she's now being the reassurer of the imposter inside your
Yes.
head. So
'Cause-
it made your life chaotic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, this ties into just like there's a way people grow up in your family. If you have like a very certain way of like being supported, or like you have a friend group or like whatever, when you go out there, you don't think about it too much.
Yes.
You're like already reassured.
Yeah.
So even if you go there and you do like at the best a mediocre job, but it surpasses, you're not worried too much.
Yeah.
But if you do have that kind of support, but you also don't want it to feel like this is just as much as you can do. You want to make sure that it kind of solidifies the work that
You're
do.
doing, yeah. And the permissions that you're given.
Yes, it kind of gets out of hand.
Yeah.
So I was like there, I would leave the office at like 8 or like 8:30. And then I'm the first one at the office the next day. Like I technically had no life outside of that job for a full year, because I worked there for 2 years. The second year was when like now things began to really show up in a way. I realized like I will not get a raise. Like my boss was like, upfront, you're not getting a raise. I don't think you're doing that much. And I'm like,
okay, you know what?
I wanna
This
cry.
is getting out of hand really fast.
yeah.
What?
So it kind of got to a point where I started understanding that the dream I thought I had, like working hard, will not get me to where I
you
want
actually
to be.
realize that working hard is not going to give you the results that you...
Yes.
Oh.
And also the work environment is like set up in a certain way that other people will get they'll get the raise, they'll get like the promotion,
the appreciation.
yes,
and
and for you it won't happen just because that's how that entire
just because
office
you're a
works.
newbie, like you're a newbie here, we're not gonna do this whether you're doing the most or you're not. You're gonna get what we signed the contract for.
Yes. And not to make anyone who works there feel bad or like they're less than or any. It's just, it was what it was. Yeah. And I realized that soon enough. So one of the things that actually made me start doing stand-up comedy, not even start doing, like I wanted an escape. I just needed a place where I'm in control.
Yes, because you felt like everything was so predetermined by someone else, and it just made you feel like you're a clown of your own life. You're just one of those two things. There's a way. Just,
and ironically, when it comes to interior design, imagine it is what it is. The job you've done, whether excellent, it stays in that person's house. You can't carry it.
You can't just change it or just change your mind just because.
So, and it's very end to end. It's like, it's the perfection that you brought, the work that you did, that's it. It's like, that's the end. So when I realized like, it kind of feels like there's a barrier every time.
You're just like, I can't do this, like I'm done. Ironically, I'm also like that. I don't like being in spaces where I feel like I can't be myself and I'm walking on eggshells all the time. I can't, my head can't function. As a matter of fact, it gives me crazy anxiety. Like it just makes me feel like, wow.
It's too much.
Me, my head can't, it's not working. As a matter of fact, I'm just there. It's like I'm a zombie or something.
It's scary.
It's so scary.
And like I quit. There's like a couple of factors. It was my own personal issues with the whole system. It was also that job had not given us a contract. And
tutaanza hapa ku unpack.
I will not even get into the details of that. I was just scared that if you're hired that way, you can get fired at any time.
Like they
You
wake up
can never
like,
get the dues that you want. Sometimes you can't even do like proof of employment.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is this? So I started trying to find out what labor laws are in Kenya, and I didn't even understand for the life of me where to start. So that's where like even like the satire
came in.
Because I like started understanding it from a point of like how comic, how funny is it that someone can work a job every day and not have a contract.
So in short, you used your pain and your misfortune for something that you're educating people as much as you are entertaining them. Oh.
Yes, that's exactly.
That's such a good way of
That is
pivoting
exactly
things.
what I do. That is exactly what I do.
What you do every
on
day.
my show, Pick Up with Justine. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so let's backtrack. Tulikuwa wapi? So now you are here, you're in this job, 2 years in, you're out.
Yes.
So your first gig. Let's talk about the first gig you did as a comedian. Were you nervous? Did you like it? Were you like, what am I doing?
I'll just say,
are people just laughing because they heard I am a startup comedian, or am I actually, like, did you have any second guessing, or like, what was it? Tell us what the experience was like.
Okay, so this is so strange because I did my first stand-up, not show, it was an open mic.
Okay.
And open mics are technically anyone who's talented in any way can go up and like do it. Yeah. So I was at an open mic at number 7 in Nairobi. And I found out about this open mic because the person hosting it was someone whose work I'd seen. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Too Early for Birds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the co-creators of that show was hosting the open mic, and I was like, oh, I want to go.
And just try it out.
Yeah, because they'd written like, we're looking for musicians, poets, stand-up comedians, spoken word artists, and I'm like, I want to do this. I feel like that could be fun, you know? So I signed up for the open mic. There wasn't that many people, maybe like 6 to 12 people, I think.
So 6 to 12 people who had signed up for
the open
who
mic.
Sitting on the audience?
For the open mic, no. The audience I think it was a good audience, like maybe 30 people inside there, which is a good, substantial audience, because it was the first time too. So I show up to this open mic, I'm pumped. I get inside. It's like, oh, you'll be, I think, the 7th person. I'm like, cool. So I'm chilling. I told my friend to come along too, just for the support.
Yeah.
It gets to my time to go up. I go up, like, hey guys. I start doing my beats. Beats are like the jokes that you've written.
Yeah.
So I do the first bit, and then I think I was on my second beat or something, and then like the way number 7 is set up, the kitchen is kind of just like there.
Yeah.
So smoke from the kitchen starts seeping onto the stage.
Oh,
I have a very weak chest, like just the slightest smoke and I'm literally dying. So it goes into like my windpipe.
And you start doing what? Coughing or sneezing?
I am crying, trying to stifle a cough. I'm like, like I'm trying to do the setup. It's so bad. I'm trying not to die. I'm crying.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm trying to do the performance. I'm trying to get through this bit. And then, you know, number 7 is kind of like a hallway. So instead of just giving up and like giving the mic back to the host, I try to continue doing the bit by going outside of the premises and doing it at the back of the room.
Ooh, so you're moving with
it
your
was
mic.
embarrassing. And then this lady starts heckling me. A heckler is the biggest opponent of a stand-up comedian. Because like a stand-up experience, in your head, you're like, I'm doing the jokes to laugh. If you don't want to laugh, that's
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
But when someone starts talking back,
it gets bad really
I
fast.
did not know how to shut down a heckler. I'm like, I'm just gonna continue. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And at the end of that experience, I was like, I think I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Wait, what? After the horrible?
Yes.
And you choking?
Because like I got some laughs, and that made some part of me
kind of
whole.
gave you some motivation.
Yes.
Oh wow.
That's such a vivid memory where I'm like, this is the worst thing that could happen to anyone doing anything for the first time.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a recovery somewhere. There has to be a way that I get to recover
and become better at this. Oh, What?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so as you have heard, she's telling us where she started. So for you to keep coming and like coming with us through this journey of listening to what she's going to tell us next about, how she was able to now become the stand-up comedian that she is today, who is traveling to Ghana, Johannesburg, and she is international, baby.
Right.
Just stay tuned for part 2. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode, and this week's episode we are still with the lovely Justine. We are going to continue talking about the juiciness of, her journey as a stand-up comedian, and I can't wait for you guys to hear what she has to say. So Justine, tulikuwa wapi?
Me
So
almost...
now you're telling us the way you almost choked
Yes.
on your first ever time on the stage, and you wanted to keep going.
Yes.
What?
I think there's a part of you. I don't know if you've ever experienced this with anything that you like. Mm-hmm. Something bad happens, but like there's a more beauty.
No, not me. Mimi, it happens, but I'm like, do say it. I'm
You
not
wrapped
doing
it
this
up.
again.
It's like it was nice.
No, it was nice.
It's a
It
wrap.
was nice meeting you. It was nice seeing you. I'm not doing this again. This is too much. Alafu kwanza in front of people.
Yeah.
No. Sign me out. I can't.
I'll say right now, I am the least. I don't care about what people think.
You're the least people pleaser of.
I am a big people pleaser when it comes to one-on-one interactions.
Okay.
But when it's like a group of people, those people won't remember me. The likelihood is very little, honestly. I'm just I'm doing.
Were you
I'm
trained
doing
as
me.
well? Because you told me you were trained to keep time. You, Pia, were you trained?
No, I think that's just something. Maybe there's a part of me that's inherently just not embarrassed. Or
yeah,
it's like when it comes to a group of people, honestly, it's like it's a performance. It's like a circus. Like those people don't know me. Chances are they will likely not remember me. They have their own lives and everything, but when it's a one-on-one interaction, people remember you. It makes me very uncomfortable.
Where?
Yes.
Okay. Now me, I'm even rethinking my own life, because I'm like, Mimi, when I go to a new place, I just want everything to be so perfect. It's excruciatingly annoying to myself. Yeah. Because I'm just like, okay. So now you're like, okay, now you're like, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Then how did you like get your second gig? Like, did you look for people who are in the industry so that you connect to them, so that you kind of like get to understand how the industry works? Or did you just go for another open mic and just wing it?
So when I started out, there was technically an industry, but it was predominantly like Churchill's style comedy. And those guys are done great. But
they're
it's
fantastic.
it's just a different way of doing things.
Yeah.
And I don't think that comedy I could hack. So when I started doing the comedy that I do, I was just lucky that the things... Sorry?
No, it's okay. Sorry, keep going. I was just scratching my nose.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was just lucky that the things that I was doing were aligning with the industry shaping up to what it is right now.
Okay.
So I met a comedian called Brian Onjoro at like a third open mic I was doing or something, where he was like, oh, I really loved your performance. I'm doing this small gig at this place. Do you want to come? And I was like, of course. Because I'm
Why you asking?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, ni bebe, 20.
Yes. So I show up to this gig, I do it.
Yeah.
It was just like a small event. Like there wasn't any more than 10, 12 people there, but like I had such a good time. When someone calls me for another gig, I show up. Through this, I met my mentor, Doug Mutai, which was really awesome. Doug is really, like, he was very bent on us, like, understanding how to write, how to perform, what to do on stage. So we had, like, writing sessions on Monday. We had writing sessions on Monday. And then we had, like, shows every 2 months, because, like, the industry wasn't anything at that time.
Still,
but he
you
really
had something.
Yeah, he kept pushing. So at that time, it was mostly me doing my day job, and then at night, I'm a comedian. But then I quit on that year, I think it's 2019. I don't remember.
Well, it's okay. We're not good with
Yeah,
numbers at
so
this
like
point.
so I quit that year, and then just like it's been full comedy from then on.
Yeah.
So when I started doing like my performances full time. Again, the shows were spaced out so much. I was like, what's another way of like continuing to do comedy outside of just like
with this free time that you're having, because now you're not doing your 8 to 5.
So remember how I didn't know about labor laws, and around that time, that's when like I think Huduma number was coming up or something, and I was like, okay, I want to know more about this, but I want to explain it to people in a funny way. So I do my research and like then do the episode. Like it's like
on your phone, you're just like, you know what? I don't have a platform to, like, I don't have a place where I can do this. I can make my own place.
Yes.
Oh, so then it means that your journey began because first you put yourself out there without thinking who's gonna think what, even if I choke, I am still coming back.
Yes.
So number one, put yourself out there. Number two, you allowed yourself to be not shepherded. That's not a word. Don't laugh.
No, it's okay.
You allowed yourself to be mentored. You allowed yourself to be a student under someone.
Oh, 100%. I think with any craft, anything you want to be good at, there has to be someone who's like 10 times better than you already.
And you have to look up to them. Like you have to look up to someone, like someone who is literally on top of you. Like you literally look up to them. That's a joke.
Yeah. I'm trying not to. I was trying to. Sorry.
I'm trying to be you.
Yeah, you actually have to look up to people. There's like there are people who are skyscrapers and you're a small building. You're still aspirational. So you really have to find those voices that you feel kind of speak to you, and then
it makes your heart feel like I want to do this.
Yes.
I don't care what happens. I want to do this. So,
and again, that thing what I was telling you, where it's like everything is kind of not working and still working at the same time. Being a comedian at its very core is not being afraid to fail.
But I feel like it's everything. It's not just comedy. It's everything.
No, with comedy, if you have a desk job, you can make a mistake.
Oh yeah, and someone will cover it up for you. There's a HR somewhere.
Yeah, or you can make a mistake, and then maybe like your colleague will see it and then they'll like help you cut it off before it spirals into like a big thing.
Okay.
But when it's comedy and you say the wrong thing when you're holding that mic,
it all goes down so fast.
Like it's gone. There's nothing you can really do in that moment. Yeah, you can just feel, and you can always feel when you're losing the room. You can always feel like people are on your side. You can also always feel like when you've lost them, like that disconnect happens.
You can feel the energy, like disconnect and connection.
And in your heart of hearts, you're like, I'm really hoping this next joke gets them back on board. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's we have nerves all the time. We just like the love for the craft is stronger than the nerves. It just has to be.
The same way that like if you love something so much, the power and the passion that you have behind it should be able to like make you get off every kind of obstacle that you encounter.
Ironically, yes. Because you are. There's days where you show up to a show. First of all, a feeling point for like a stand-up comedian, usually how we feel, how we judge our progresses. Sometimes you've like worked hard on a show, you've told people to come through, and then like 7 people are there.
What?
And like 3 people, it's because they wandered in there by mistake and they sat down and they're having a meal and they're like, why are you people talking to us? Yes. And 2 people are your friends, and then there's like actually 2 audience members. So technically you're performing for 7 people, and you want these 7 people to have the best time of their lives. So you have to remind yourself, as long as you're holding that mic, you're in control of the room, whatever happens, you just give it your best. And sometimes it's like any other job. Sometimes you're like, I've had a hard week.
I can't, like today.
And like you're doing your jokes and someone is over there judging you. They're like, why are you throwing away your life? And you're like, no, I'm not throwing away my life. This is actually
so it gets
my
very
life.
Emotional really fast.
Yeah. So you have to remind yourself like the bigger picture doesn't make sense now, but you're working towards something.
You have to always see the bigger picture. Like as much as it's big, you need to take a step back and see it.
Yeah, it's technically a jigsaw puzzle. You just have like that corner with all these 2 waves. You don't know where it connects.
Where it's going,
but it's actually
leading to something.
Yes, it is.
Well, speaking of resilience, wengine wetu tukiambiwa become resilient, wengine wetu tukiambiwa you need to stop doing some of these things, wewe ulikuwa unaambiwa become resilient.
I don't think I was told any of these things by anyone.
It just became a thing in your life because of how much passion you had.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to do things for myself, like stuff that I know. I have built this from the ground up. So when I started my show Fake Work with Justine, I didn't know what I was doing. If you go see the first video, it's so embarrassing. The video is in landscape mode, CG. It's so bad. Like, you have to hold your phone like this, which you know most people want to do.
And this was on Instagram.
It's so embarrassing, honestly. I had like the people following me were like 3 of my friends and then like 10 of my comedy friends.
And because you've also threatened them, you better like that photo.
No, they were like, we will follow you, we're just not gonna watch it. Not now anyway, because we also have like a lot going on.
Yeah.
But like my friends have been very supportive.
Yeah.
So slowly, you just build slowly. So what Fake Work with Justine is now, I've been able to do 2 seasons of feature episodes.
Wow, the growth.
Yes, I finished like my second season. This is like a week and a half ago, something. That was when I did my season 2 finale. I'm working on season 3 right now, and all of this has been like self-funded, self-produced, with a lot of love and support from my friends. Yeah.
And so this the thing that you do on Instagram is the one thing that helps you remember the mistake that you made when you were doing your 8 to 5 and now you want to teach people. This is what it's about. I know it's funny, but this is what it actually is about.
And like there's educative episodes, and like when you do political satire, sometimes people get really angry.
Because it's very sensitive.
Yeah, because they're like, how dare you come from the person that I voted for? And I'm like, yeah, you could vote, but you could also, this is a mistake. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just happens. You understand? Like, it's the human nature of things.
Life,
and making fun of something doesn't diminish that thing. It just makes other people hyper aware that it could be happening, but it could also be ridiculous.
It's funny, but it's painful. Maybe. Okay. So now you have gotten into the industry. You have already decided that you're going to do satire, and then now here you are, and your outreach is getting bigger. Like you're doing international shows. Like, wait, what? Are you Kevin Hart's sister or what?
I'll say this is like, in a comedian's journey, it's the dream for you to be able...
First of all, how did you actually get there? How did you actually get to a point where now you can book people in Ghana, people who have never seen you, maybe apart from on the internet? They don't know you.
I'll just say...
And they just pay for tickets and you fly out, and you can even afford to fly out and stay somewhere in a hotel and come back, and you have done a good job.
I'll say this, I've been very lucky that the industry just is continuing to shape up to allow for this industry to grow in that way. So first of all, just doing the mics, showing up, doing shows. We were lucky we did a show called Roast House on Showmax, which was awesome. It was like, yes, we're on TV, but we were doing silly things. We were roasting people with accomplishments way beyond your dream. Like, I was roasting Boniface Mwangi, and I'm like, I am so sorry I have to do this, but this is my job.
It's just a job. It's not personal.
So people look at that stuff and they like it. And then we got to do like a 15-minute special too on a show called Comedy Riot, also on Showmax. Because of Eugene Mbugua really loved like our whole comedy style and everything. Was like, okay, we need to be able to share this with more people. So we, through his collaboration with Doug, now my mentor, like they brought that show, and it's just like you get up and you perform. You
don't have time to overthink it.
No,
it's just
because you've been doing the work. You've been doing the work. You've been working to perfect your beats. You're doing mics every week. So I'll say with comedy, you have to, especially stand-up, you have to do a lot of stage time.
So by stage time, it means you have to do a lot of jokes.
Yes, you have to, not a lot of jokes, you have to get up on stage a lot of times, tell the joke and perfect it.
Wait, you want to tell me all these jokes are scripted?
Yes. Wait. Joke writing is not a joke.
What?
No, it isn't.
Literally.
You actually have to do the work, because There's a book I'm reading right now
Yeah.
by a director of like one really popular show that people love. It's called Curb Your Enthusiasm. Curb Your Enthusiasm is kind of like a show about nothing, but it's very funny. It's kind of like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The person who co-created Seinfeld is the person who also created Curb Your Enthusiasm. His name is Larry David. So the director of that show wrote this book where he talks about being a comedian is like smartass and mockery is something that he also really loved, which connects with me. But also there's a part of performing that's mostly about showing up and like the intricate details of the work that you do behind the scenes, so people only get to see the perfect
part where you're not stuttering, you
not
don't know whether
overthinking.
it's funny or not.
Yes.
You're trying to, did I say that right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of practice like behind this. It's not just like, I know you guys are funny. I'm not saying that now you guys are not funny, but it's not just you guys being funny. It's about you guys doing the work. So there's actual work to be put in it.
Yeah. People just think big, and kudos to every other comedian who can get up there and just be funny off of the fly. I really wish I could be you.
So is it that you're good at acting? Or is it that you're good at comedy? Because now it's a bit conflicting.
I'll say
both.
Performing is just like an exaggeration of self. Because stand-up comedy at its core, you're like continually introducing yourself to people who don't know you. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You're introducing yourself in the jokes that you do. You're introducing yourself in the things that you're interested in the things that make you laugh, in the things that make you angry. That's all comedy is. So other people just get to tap into that exaggeration of self. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
And when they tap into the exaggeration of self, then it means that now you're growing.
Yes.
And you're becoming better.
Yes.
So even if they just throw you on a certain set, you're just ready.
Yes.
Whenever.
Because you've been doing the work.
It's like you're always prepared to have a perfect joke. Like it's not like, tell me something.
No.
It's not like, tell me a joke. And then it's like at the top of your head, it's there.
No, it isn't. Because like, I'll say this, one of my favorite jokes to do is this stupid thing that I wrote one time. I told you this, I like writing a lot in a matatu. You can't even keep a stable hand. It's very hard to work in a matatu, but it's a really good work environment. It's very inspiring.
The pressure,
yes.
The talking, the makelele, yani.
Yeah. So there's two jokes that I really love to do. One of them is, have you seen Crazy Rich Asians?
No.
You've not seen Crazy Rich Asians, but okay, so this usually works well for people who've seen Crazy Rich Asians, but
Asians or agents?
Asians.
Oh yeah, I have.
You've seen Crazy Rich Asians, yeah? Not the movie, the people we owe money to.
Girl.
See, like that's so stupid, but like I really love it. Like, and that's a joke.
And we relate in Nairobi, we actually do relate. The roads we built.
Exactly.
Well.
So it's kind of like a double entendre where like the layering of the joke is like the movie, and then the misdirection is,
Justine, what? I can't with you, what?
Exactly. And there's a time I had to explain what a matatu is to a group of people. Yeah, I don't like to judge people. You know, some people live a very sheltered life. Yeah. So a matatu, you know, is a bus that's also a club and a marketplace. That's what. So, like when you think about it, it's an observation, yes.
Yeah,
but how do you draw it down to like a very precise statement? That's not just something that comes from the top of your head. Yeah.
You're very smart, by the way. That's all I can say. So, okay. So one last question, and then we're done. Okay. I had to ask for permission. My camera guy is looking at me like. Anyway, so one last question. Yeah. So you told me you did this, you've done this for 6 years now, right? Yes. So looking back, with the accomplishments that you've made, with the mistakes that you've made, with you almost choking because you are just sensitive about smoke and you were in the wrong place. I'm sorry about that, but what do you think you can tell Justine 6 years back with the Justine that you are today?
I would be like, leave that job, what are you doing?
Oh. Start mapema.
No,
Mapema ndio
I
best.
wouldn't have told her to leave that job. I would have been like, negotiate for a salary on day one so that you know if these people are going to play you.
Yeah.
That is what I would have told, because she was really just looking to be the right kind of employee.
Yeah.
But what I would have told myself then, like, there's so much greatness in you. You just have to be aware that you will fail, but that is not the full definition of you. Yeah, that doesn't define you.
Oh, that's gonna make me cry.
But I also didn't answer your question about traveling.
Yeah, please tell us.
I was just like, again, it connects to all the work that you've done. There are people who are listening.
Yeah.
There are people who are watching, and there are people who care just beyond the thing that you think you're doing. And those people will find you.
So it's put yourself out there, do a good job, no mediocrity.
Don't be mediocre. Oh my God.
Let's not say perfect, but don't be mediocre.
Yeah,
Being mediocre is not a thing that we subscribe
You
to
can
here.
be mediocre on some days.
Yeah.
Just allow yourself, like, maybe a Saturday to be mediocre. But then every other day you have to hit that pavement.
Yeah, like do the work.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
So be good at what you're doing, put yourself out there, get the opportunities when they come, be ready for the opportunities. There's a saying that goes around, when opportunity meets preparation, then there's success.
Yes.
I feel like I should write that on a t-shirt. Anyway.
Much already.
Well,
merchandise.
So, and what else? What's the last thing that you've told us? That you need to also just believe in yourself and just do what you're doing the way you like doing it. Oh, that's such good advice. I mean, for everyone who wants to get into the comedy industry, like the, laughs industry, is it called the laughs
like
industry?
Any art form. If you're just doing any
kind of art,
any kind of work.
Yeah.
Just like, I think this advice applies across the board.
Across
but
the
if you
board.
want to be funny, don't think it's just going to be like an easy ride. You have to do the work.
You have to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're doing your art, if you're doing whatever you're doing, just remember that you need to put in the work, put yourself out there. You see, when you make a video, post it. You see, when you draw something, post it. Don't, it's not, there's something I didn't do right. Just post it. We'll also not see the mistakes, because most of the time with artists, we are our biggest critic of ourselves.
Yes.
So just post your work, and remember, there's someone somewhere who is always watching.
Yeah.
So just do your dues, and everything else will be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, that's such a good story. I feel like we should just go back there and just continue with part 3. And then you guys, nitawaandikia tu notes niwatumie kwa captions. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for even the engagement that we've been getting, the views that we have been having, and the people that, are coming up and asking us questions about, what Youth Plus is about. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your support. So, kama kawaida, remember to comment, share, subscribe, and keep yourself inspired. Thank you. Bye.